sheet. I only printed out 35 because I had no idea there was going to be like 150 people here. If you guys can't hear me, please feel free to come up a little bit. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about just my philosophy, my kind of understanding of how music functions and how it functions particularly for this instrument. So all of you guys probably have a little bit of familiarity. Is that the word? Familiarity?
Yes.
With this instrument. So I really like to think about music in kind of three really, really important aspects of parts. If you have those three parts of music, then you really have like kind of successful, engaging music. Basically, you're getting across your idea. Yeah. Can anybody name just maybe one of those? Melody, that's one of them. Rhythm, that's another one. Harmony, that's another one.
Michael,
that's another one. Words. Rhythm, yeah. Rhythm, harmony, and melody, okay? Those three parts, right? So if you have one of those parts, right, this would be the harmony, correct? Yeah, and there's another one. And I'm just kind of giving you the harmony. You guys all know what song that is?
Where did we go?
Don't look at the sheet I was just making. Right? And then maybe if I can add a little bit more of, now I add kind of a rhythm to it. Now my idea is getting across a little bit better, right? And now I see everybody kind of nodding their head. Everyone, yeah, my face is with me, right? Yeah? So now, even if you didn't have that sheet in front of you, you might still have a hard time kind of identifying what it is. And so if I can add that last part, right? And now everybody's suddenly with it. And if I sing it, hey, where did we go? Suddenly, that whole musical idea came across. Did everybody kind of get, as I added each one of those elements, then my musical idea got a little bit more sophisticated. And suddenly you could kind of jam along with it, right? So those three important aspects of music, rhythm, harmony, and melody, to me, you need to be working on all of those things every time you pick up your instrument, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
So, so when we're talking about rhythm, which of these hands are we usually talking about? Right hand, right? Yeah, unless there's any left-hand players here, then whatever I'm saying, just think of it backwards, okay? So right hand technique, we're usually talking about rhythm, okay? And then left hand technique, we're usually talking about what?
Harmony.
Harmony, right? Chords. We can be talking about melody if you are playing chord melody, but for the majority of the time, and especially in the beginning of kind of our career with learning, we're talking about chords, right? C, F, G7, C, right? So all of those things, when we kind of separate those two spheres into like a part that's apart from the other part, you know what I'm talking about? So you can practice right hand technique, right? I can just do this strum pattern without even thinking about my chord progression, right? And that means that I can really put all of my attention into just my right hand, right? And then I can just play the chords, right? Without any of the rhythm, right? And anytime you try to put too much together, what happens? Usually when you know a song really well and then you try to sing with it, what happens? It can fall apart, right? So that's just because you're doing too many things at once. So always remember that. You can separate right hand technique, left hand technique, and melody. So I like to think about kind of our skill level, or our ability to kind of transmit music in sort of this circle, yeah? I wish I had a board up here, but I don't. Cool. Blame it Doug. No, it's all good. Just let everybody just visualize with me, okay? So here's my circle. You're right here in the middle, yeah? And so on each, think of it like spokes in a wheel, okay? So on my right side is my right hand technique. On the left side is my left hand technique. On the bottom is that last part of music we talked about, melody, right? What do you think's on the top? Anybody guess?
A star?
A star is on top. No, I like to think about an angel. Yeah. I like to put a little T up there. Okay, so R, L, M on the bottom, and then a T on the top. Okay, and so T stands for theory, the word that everybody hates. As soon as I said it, everybody's like, "Get this guy out of here!" Right? It's theory. It's just it's just our understanding of music. If you think about it like that, that's all theory is, right? It's just kind of creating a new language and understanding of how music functions. And for me, everybody in this room can benefit from learning a little bit of theory. Maybe I should use a different word. Understanding? Yes. Yeah, everybody in here can understand or benefit from a little more understanding of how music functions, right? Talking about chord families, talking about scales and how they move up the fretboard, all of these things, right? because I want you guys to understand that music is not as complicated as most people think, right? That's one of the reasons I think everybody here gravitates towards ukulele, is because it's not intimidating, right? You see, like, a concert pianist or a violinist on stage, you're like, oh, that's amazing. But you never really say to yourself, like, oh, I can do that. I can totally do that, right? But that's the thing about ukulele, it's approachable. And that's why I really like it, okay? So let's just look at this song. It's a song probably everybody's played in here. I think last time we were here, we actually played it in a different key. But we play it in C. Whoever doesn't have a copy of it, we're looking at just the chord sheets for right now, right? So the chords are pretty straightforward, but I want to just kind of take apart what those parts that we talked about. So the chords would be our left-hand technique, right? And everybody's familiar with all of these chords: C, F, C, and G, and then A minor, yeah? All the easiest chords you can play, which I really like. So now let's talk about the right-hand technique. How do we add rhythm to this? A lot of people think of rhythm as sort of this additive process. They're like, okay, play this, add this, do this next, play an up strum, put a down strum on it. And that's your rhythm, right? I kind of want to just take a different concept and approach to it. A lot of people in here know how to play a calypso strum. Who knows how to play a calypso strum? Yeah, can you show me? Oh, is that it? Just once? Do we only play it once? No, we gotta... Right? Everybody knows this rhythm. Can everybody just kind of jump in with this with me? And if you don't know it, just kind of strum along. There we go. Good. One more measure. And everybody finish on one. Or finish when you want to. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's try that again. I'm a huge, I'm just kind of a particular person about this. I really love it when it just all rings out on that one. Okay, can we try one more time? 1, 2, 3, 4. C. Good. One more measure, and finish on one. Yeah, that was a lot better. That was awesome. Okay, so when I think about this rhythm, what I'm thinking about is not down plus up plus down plus up, right? That's not how I'm thinking about this concept. What I'm thinking about is my right hand is my metronome, okay? So my right hand is moving like this in 8th notes. Yeah, everybody know what 8th notes are? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So now, when I play those first two down strums, what does my hand have to do in between each of those down strums? What? Come up. That's what it needs to do, right? So everybody watch. I go down, up. My hand comes up, right? In the natural tempo of the music that's already there, right? Down, down, down. Each time I'm doing that down strum, what I'm doing is I'm having to come up across the strings. If I played it, it would sound like this, right? So that's how I want to think about rhythm. It's basically setting up this foundation. It's like my hand keeps my time, and then all I choose to do is touch the strings when I want to hear a noise. And that's how we create patterns. That's how we create rhythm. That's how rhythm functions on this instrument in a really easy way to think about it, right? If she's done. Take it easy.
You said the T word.
I said the T word. She's out of here. So no matter how complicated a strum pattern I come up with, right? It sounds fast. It sounds technical, right? But if I just fill in all those spaces, it comes from this. My hand is moving like this, and I slow that tempo down. Right? That's all my hand is doing. I know that that's a very kind of complicated example of that, but I want you to know is if you build from playing simple patterns, you can build to higher patterns. But remember, whenever you hear those sounds on the upbeat, it's usually your hand going up. Right? So I play this whole strum pattern. It's down, down, up, and in between those up strums, my hand has to come down on that third beat, right? 1, 2, and Everybody see that? My hand is coming down, it's just not touching the strings. Down, down, up, Right? And so that's how I want to start to think about rhythm, okay? I want to start to think about it not as an additive process, more as a subtractive process. Everybody got that? Yeah? Okay, cool. And I want you to think about that when you're listening to things on the radio, when you're trying to emulate these sounds that you hear. Remember, if you can keep your hand moving, how many people had trouble when they first learned this pattern? It was usually because you got stuck on that up strum, right? You went down, down, up, down, up, right? You usually got caught in that moment where your hand stops moving, okay? So, like I said, all lessons, just come up and talk to me afterwards. I would love to talk to all 65 of you. Probably a couple more because I said theory and everybody walked out of the room. But okay, so that's sort of my right and left-hand approach to this song. Now let's talk about melody, which is, everybody flip the sheet over to the back. Okay? So this is going to tie a little bit into understanding of music, not theory, but understanding of music. Yeah? It's going to tie a little bit to understanding of music, and it's also going to tie into melody. Okay? Because remember, without that melody, what happens is your playing doesn't feel complete. Okay? So does everybody here know a C major scale? Yeah? Can someone play it for me? On the banjo. Sounds so great, right? So those 7 notes that make up that major scale, right? Those notes, it's actually, like I was saying, music is more simple than people kind of lead on to believe, right? Music is very, very simple. These 7 notes are what create... No, it's cool. That sounded good. These 7 notes are what we use to create this entire song. So everything that's happening in the song. Hey, where did we go? Days when the rains came, right? All of these notes, right? Every one of those notes, everything that's happening is some sort of combination of these 7 notes. Yeah? Anybody believe me? It is.
I believe you.
Thank you, Doug. Very, very good. So I'm serious when I say it. Every chord that we play, C, F, G, A minor, is a combination of those 7 notes in some order. And every melody that I sing is some reordering of those 7 notes, right? When I go, hey, where did we go? Da, 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 da. Right? It's the 5th note, the 4th note, and the 3rd note of that scale. Ba, da, 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 da. Yeah? So it's kind of cool. If you can learn these 7 notes and kind of understand how they function, you have a lot more power to be able to understand how all this music kind of fits together, right? So I want everybody to play the first note in the scale, the C note, right? The lowest note we can play on the ukulele, unless you have a low G. Ooh. Nice, I love it. And everybody play the 2nd note in the scale. Yeah? And then everybody play the 3rd note in the scale. Now back to the 2nd note, and then back to 1. Back to the root, okay? So those are the first 3 notes, and if you look on that sheet, yeah, I heard it. Okay, so I'm going to play it once and then everybody repeats. Ready? 1, 2, me first. Ba, ba, 1, 2, ready, go. Ba, 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 ba. 1, 2, again. Ba, 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 ba. Last time. 3, 4. Good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move to the 4th note in the scale, which is F. And we're going to play that same kind of pattern. It's ascending 2 notes and then back. So I'm going to play the 1st fret on the E string. Everybody play that note. And then everybody play the 3rd fret on the E string. And then everybody play the open A. And then back to the 3rd fret on the E string, which is the G note. And then back to the F. Okay, so I'm going to play that 2nd part. It goes bum, 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 bum. 1, 2, everybody try it. Bum, 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 bum. 1, 2, ready, go. F, G, A, G, F. Last time. 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Okay, so the way that this melody is set up is it goes part 1, ba, 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 ba. Part 2, ba, 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 ba. Back to part 1, ba, 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 ba. And then we're on the last chord of the measure so you can strum out a G. Okay, I'm going to try it once and then everybody copy. Ready? 1, 2, me first. Ba, 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 ba. F, G, A, G, F, C, D, E, then F, G, 2. Ready, go. Ba, 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 ba. F, G, A, G, F, C, D, E, D, and finish on C. Oh, how many people got it perfect? 1, 2. I think I got it perfect. So I'll raise my hand. Okay, so listen, you guys, this approach, right, if you feel like it's a little rushed, it's because it is, right? We don't have much time to think about this, so just take it home and practice, right? I always say, a lot of people say practice makes perfect. I don't think that's true, yeah? None of us can be perfect. I always say that repetition is what gives you consistency, okay? So if you want to play this line consistently, it means you got to repeat it 5, 10,000 times, something like that, right? Okay, so I'm going to quickly dive into the idea of chord melody, and then we're going to be done, and then just kind of see if we can jam this song one time, okay? So, chord melody is exactly what it sounds like. And how many people have heard this term before? Chord melody playing, right? We love it, right? Right? Everybody can hear the melody happening at the same time as the chords and the rhythm. Right? Right? And so what's happening is all three of those elements are happening at the same time, but I'm not singing the melody, right? I'm playing the melody. So chord melody is all just about understanding how does melody interact with harmony, right? And so where does this lead line happen? What chords am I playing while this lead line is happening? So if you look, like I said, it's tablature. If anybody needs help afterwards, I'm more than happy to kind of walk you through it. But all you got to do is play the chord and then play the melody. Yeah? A lot more simple than most people think, right? So for that first chord, I'm going to play a C, and I'm actually playing the first note in the melody, the open C, right? So I'm going to play bum, 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 F, da, 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 C, da, 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 and G. So if you can't play the chords at the same time, it just means you need more practice at it. So just play the lead line if you can, okay? Can we try this really quick? How much time do we have?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I've got all day.
He's got all day. I unfortunately don't. I gotta get up to the mountains. I took off and ran back down here just for this, which I'm actually.
Oh yeah!
No, you guys, it was awesome. It was. I love coming in here and being around this much music. And before I get into the end of the workshop, I really want to thank you guys for letting me come here and share a little bit of knowledge. And like I said, this is what I do. So I'm around. I teach here at Swallow Hill. I teach private lessons. I'm also opening a studio in Denver in the Arts District. So like I said, if you're interested in group classes, if you're interested in private lessons, if you're interested in just talking about ukulele, I'm more than happy to do that. Cool? Yeah?
Yay!
Okay, thank you guys very much. So, we're going to try it, okay? So 2 measures. We're going to try to play this twice. And then F, and then C, and then G, okay? So, for those of you guys who don't have the melody yet, just help me out with the chords. For those of you who want to try the melody, do that. We're going to do it for 2, we're going to do it twice, and then we're going to go straight into the song. And then at the very end, we're going to try it one more time. I hope it's not a train wreck because we're probably going to get caught up in the song. But try to remember when you jump into it, just go slow. If you miss one of the notes, try to go to the next one, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, C. Bum, ba, da, bum, bum, F, da, 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 C. And G. One more time. Bum, 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 F. Good. And G. 2. I'm going to speed up a little bit. C. Hey, where did we go? Nice days when the rains came. Everybody stop singing. Down in the there you go. Low and C. Very, 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 very. Thank you guys very much. Yeah,
Cool. Once again, thank you guys all for coming. This has been a fantastic meeting, and I totally forgot that I needed to tell you all about a unique opportunity to workshop with the two Hawaiian masters of Hawaiian music, Jeff Peterson and George yeah, that one. And February 20th, that would be today. Slack Key Guitar Group Workshop from 1:30 to 2:30 at
Sakura Square.
At Sakura Square. And then there are only 3. Okay, so anyway, I've got flyers on that. So at Sakura Square from 1:30 to like 4:15, there's information. See you guys next month. Yay!